Wrenches, them wrenches, page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Niggas want them wrenches, them wrenches, them wrenches, page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Niggas want them wrenches, them wrenches, them wrenches, page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Niggas want them wrenches, them wrenches, them wrenches, page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Niggas want them wrenches, them wrenches, them wrenches, page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Niggas want them wrenches, them wrenches, them wrenches, page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Niggas want them wrenches, them wrenches, them wrenches, page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Niggas want them wrenches, them wrenches, them wrenches, page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches.
Yeah, man, it's Mr.Saidsumn, and I got something to say. I laugh and joke, man, but I don't play not at all, and you niggas already know that. But today we're going to go over how you can identify when a power shift has begun. You have to be able to recognize this because it could knock you out your spot, because it's always somebody else trying to take your spot. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to go over the false pretense of power. You know what I'm saying? Fake leaders. Just how important it is to know your real position and not your title. That's what I'm gonna go over today. So today we're gonna start out with this little video to give you a little insight on, you know, different types of positions and some people's perspective themselves when they think they have power. So y'all sit back and check it out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold y'all up long. Y'all know what it is on mine.
Leadership is perhaps one of the most misunderstood subjects in business. Leadership has nothing to do with rank. I know many people who sit at the highest levels of an organization who are not leaders. We do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we do not trust them and we do not follow them. I also know people at low levels of organizations that have no formal authority, but they've made a choice. The choice to look after the person to the left of them, the choice to look after the person to the right of them, and we would trust them and follow them anywhere. Leadership is the awesome responsibility to see those around us rise. Every one of us, can choose to be the leader we wish we had. We lead our teams and we can lead our clients when we decide that we will do everything in our power to see them rise, to see them achieve their ambitions and their dreams. And this is what servant leadership means. I serve your dream rather than you serve my bottom line. And it's totally fine to have financial goals. It's totally fine to have metrics, because that becomes the proof of value that somebody wants to give you their money because they believe in you. It is proof positive. But the best leaders I know are students of leadership. There's no such thing as an expert leader. It doesn't exist. Like there's no such thing as an expert parent. It doesn't exist. Right? We are students of leadership, and even the most senior leaders constantly are reading books, reading articles, watching talks, having conversations all the time about leadership. They're always in learning mode. And I think for anyone who wants to be a leader, you have to choose to be a student of the subject. Like anything, if you want to be good at something, you have to study it. And the most ignored characteristic of leadership. We talk about vision and charisma. Yes, these are important. But I've known some wonderful leaders who don't have huge world-changing vision. I've known some wonderful leaders that are quiet and sit in the corner, but they all have courage. The courage to advance a vision, the courage to ignore the short-term ups and downs of the business, the courage to take risks on people the courage to believe in people, the courage to speak truth to power, the courage to do the right thing and have integrity. I think courage is a very undervalued characteristic of leadership.
I'm from Renewal by Anderson, and we've helped thousands of customers who are on a budget get our windows and doors for their home.
So there you have it. There you have it. Now we're going to get into how to identify when the power shift is really happening. You know what I'm saying? Because there's something that everybody need to know. Because some people be thinking they're in charge, man, when really they don't have no power at all. You know what I'm saying? And just like the man said earlier, it could be two people over there in the shadows, 2 or 3 people over there in the shadow, but all of them have courage. All of them were good soldiers, foot soldiers. I'm just saying it in layman terms so everybody can understand what I mean. You cut that music down some. So everybody can understand what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Because it can be a group of cowards. Have y'all seen the movie 300? That's a great example. That's a good movie y'all need to go check out. For some people don't know what power struggle and power shifting means. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can remember the part when he asked him, dude said, we got a lot of soldiers. He said, what was you? He said, I was a cook. He said, what was you? He was like, I was an apprentice. He was like, what was you? He was like, I was the horse trainer. And then he looked back at his Spartans and he said, what are you? And see, they on that Sparta life. You know what I'm saying? All of them were soldiers, trained from the beginning, really been through it, really been battle tested. Not just a whole big group of different guys who don't know their position. You understand what I mean? But first thing we're going to talk about is the perception versus reality. You know what I'm saying? Because reality is come from the word real, or the word real come from the word reality. So that's what we're going to talk about is what's real. You know what I'm saying? See, a man think he has power because the people nod, the people clap, or they follow his orders or follow his rules that he made up, in which all of those things benefit him. You know what I'm saying? What he really has is a tolerance instead of leadership. He don't have loyalty. So people just let him talk. Let him do his thing. They let him shine. But see, they won't bleed for him though. They won't bleed for him though. See, that's a big difference. You know, we don't go along just to get along. I'm not that type of person. See, people just comply to your situation because it's easier for them. It's where they're comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? It'll keep them out of trouble. It keeps money flowing and it keeps the peace, but that's not necessarily what's right. Can you dig that? They're not invested. They just surviving. See, their silence is not support. It's a strategy. So if you got a team that's always using a strategy for themselves, then what good is that doing for the group? That's why everybody got to know their position. That's why everybody got to know their position. See, a false power, that equals cancer. You know what I'm talking about? See, a false power, it spreads like cancer. It looks strong on the outside, but it's eating a foundation from underneath, from inside out. Y'all know how that cancer hit the body. It hit you from inside out and it destroyed the whole person. You understand what I'm saying? So that false power is like really dangerous and it's bad for your health. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pay attention and know your position. See, the leader believes in his yes men. He believes that means strength. But in reality, every yes is another nail in his coffin. Every yes is another nail in his coffin if you got yes men around you. That's why I would rather have 2 or 3 soldiers than 100 yes men. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. See, once the cancer spreads far enough, the system collapses. From the inside, it's fast, ugly, and with no mercy. That's how we do. That's why you got to know how to identify when a power shift has begun. That's how you got to know about the people who are around you. This is very important to leadership. To be a good leader, you had to be a good follower or a good supporter, because I really never been a follower, but I may support the cause 100%. Yeah, so it's a difference between a follower and a supporter as well. Yeah. See, once that cancer spreads far enough, the system collapses. And that's a proven fact. Then you got the shadow audience, the people who just sitting in the chat, the people who just sitting in the bushes. I'm just using that term because we on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? They don't really support. They followers. You know what I'm saying? They may come to your show and watch, but is that really support? For an example, if you got 5 people in your chat or 5 people in your life and all of them support you, that's better than a whole group of Facebook friends. 5,000 of them, I think they let you have. They hit the like button no matter what you say, no matter if it's ignorant, no matter if it's knowledgeable or informationable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, the people who just go along, they no longer have incentives to protect them. They switch sides instantly or they stand in the shadows when it's time in need of real support. Kind of like in the movie 300. Y'all got to go check that movie out. Because see, once the illusion cracks, all the silent doubters rush to the new power source. The fake leader is left alone, realizing too late he never had power. Let me say that again. Once the illusion cracks, all the silent doubters rush to the new source of power. The fake leader is left alone, realizing too late he never had power. Y'all pay attention to what I'm saying now. Don't let that go over your head, man. This Mr. Saidsumn, I got something to say, man. You know what I'm saying? And the lesson that you will learn from that is power isn't noise. Power isn't fear. It isn't a whole bunch of yes men. Real power comes from leverage. It comes from leverage, loyalty, and proof that you can deliver. That's where your power comes from. Kind of like your plug. See, haven't you had a plug, rain, sleet, or snow, he can get you right? I'm talking to the street cats now. You know, somebody you can depend on. That's a form of power. Like when he said, you already know what it is. When he called, you know what it is. You know it's 100. You don't have to question it. You don't have to think about it. You already know it's going to be something real. It's going to be something informative. And it's going to be something that won't just benefit him. Do that make sense to you? That makes sense. Leave something in the chat for me. Yeah. See, false power will always be replaced as long as there's some real niggas around, because it can't defend itself when it's tested. False power will always be replaced because it can't defend itself when it's being tested. Straight like that. So if you think you have power just because people salute you, you already finished. They're only saluting because it cost them nothing. The moment it costs them something, they're gone. And the shadows, the people in the shadows, they will eat you alive. Now, this Mr. Saidsumn, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man. I just want to get y'all, get your attention this Tuesday morning, man. This Tuesday morning, man. Take that for some food of thought, man. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll holler at y'all. This Mr. Saidsumn. Salute to Hankin TV. Y'all go holler at Hankin TV. He got some good interviews coming. He got that boy Dogface out of the deep coming through there. And you know there's gonna be some serious. So y'all pay attention, man. Keep your eyes open, keep your mouth closed, and you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means you need to listen twice as much as you talking. And try to identify when the shift of power has begun so you can get in the right position to hold your position. Most importantly, you have to know your position. This world is a stage. It's long and wide. Play your part. This Mr. Saidsumn, man. I got something to say. I laugh and joke, man. But I don't play, not at all. And you niggas already know that. I'll holler at y'all.
Niggas want them riches, them riches, them riches. Page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Oh God. Niggas want them riches, them riches, them riches. Page to page like bitches, like bitches, like bitches. Oh God. Niggas want them riches, them riches, them riches. Page to page like bitches, like bitches.